Whenever you begin with your CLAT preparation journey, you know the importance of the case laws that the Supreme Court provides to you. While you are reading them, you do not know how the questions can be asked from those case laws, and you also do not know the strategy to maximize the marks in the case-based questions. So hello CLAT aspirants, welcome to Law Prep Tutorials YouTube channel. और अगर आपको strategy नहीं पता है तो हम आ गए हैं आपको वही strategy बताने that how you can increase your marks in the case-based questions in your CLAT PG examination. All you have to do is stay tuned till the end of the video ताकि आपको ये पता हो कि कैसे आपको case-based questions को interpret करना है, how you have to follow the follow-up questions, and how you can secure full marks in especially the case-based questions. So today we are here with the case law strategy for the CLAT PG examination, right? Let's first understand why case law matters in CLAT PG. You all know that this CLAT PG includes passage-based legal questions. Many passages are based on Supreme Court judgments. Direct Supreme Court judgments के पैसेजेस आपसे पूछ लिए जाते हैं. पैराग्राफ सीधा सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट से उठा के CLAT PG में डाल दिया जाता है. Students must understand judicial reasoning. Interpretation of statutes through case law is frequently tested, right? How you are gonna interpret the statutes. What do you mean by statutes? आप law को कैसे interpret कर रहे हो? That is something that is tested in the CLAT PG examination, right? Now the first step, understand the role of the case law. आपने case law का role अभी समझ लिया है in the last slide, that you must know that what kind of questions can come from the case law, identifying the legal principle involved, applying the judgment reasoning to the new facts, interpreting the court's approach to the statutory constitutional provisions. And therefore the objective is not to memorize the entire judgments but to understand the legal principles emerging from them, right? कि आपको रट्टा नहीं मारना है 100-200 पेजेस का जो केस लॉ आता है, आपको सिर्फ ये देखना है कि क्या जुडिशियल रीजनिंग उससे निकल के आई, क्या लीगल रीजनिंग उस जजमेंट से निकल के आई, इज समथिंग दैट यू हैव टू लुक फॉर while you are studying the case laws, right? Then focus on the high weighted subjects, right? आपको अपनी preparation journey में you have to focus upon the highest weighted sections of the CLAT PG to have a better understanding कि आपको कौन से ज्यादा case laws पे पहले focus करना है, and then you can move to the less weighted sections, right? So these include, the first is the constitutional law. Very important. Most of the passages are based on the constitutional law. You have to focus upon the fundamental rights, judicial review, separation of powers, federalism is something that you have to look for. Then the administrative law, again, principles of natural justice, delegation of powers, judicial control of the administrative actions. इस type के जो questions हैं वो आपके high weighted sections होते हैं, इनसे आपके passage आते ही आते हैं. High weighted questions are there from constitutional law, administrative law, then the criminal law and the contract law. Students should review important interpretations under IPC, which now has been converted to BNS. अब आपको BNS का ध्यान रखना है because अब नए provisions properly in force आ चुके हैं in India. Criminal liability principles, procedures regarding the criminal law safeguards, right? Now the contract law, how the contract is formed, breach and remedies, interpretation of contractual obligations, ये सब आपके लिए बहुत important highest weighted sections हैं for the CLAT PG examination, right? Then the third step is to prioritize the recent Supreme Court judgments, right? जैसे आपके CLAT UG के लिए current affairs बहुत important होते हैं, वैसे ही CLAT PG के लिए the most recent Supreme Court judgment becomes very important. CLAT PG strongly emphasizes recent legal developments. Students should particularly track the judgments delivered in last 1 to 2 years. Very important. Last 1 to 2 years में Supreme Court judgments जो भी आए हैं वो आपके लिए बहुत important है. Then constitutional bench decisions, case involving interpretation of major statutes. These judgments often form the basis of the passage-based questions in the examination. या तो directly वही case के आपके passages उठा के आपसे पूछ लिया जाएगा, या फिर आपसे उसी के अराउंड एक सिचुएशन बनाकर प्रिंसिपल फैक्ट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया जाएगा इन क्लैट पीजी, राइट? Then use a structured case analysis method, right? आप एक proper case analysis method को use करो. That is how you can format a sample format that I have created for you. That first you know the case name. This is how you can create a summary for it basically, right? That is the format of a good summary, a 2-pager summary that you must have for every case law that is coming in the country by the Supreme Court. Then the facts of the case, in 5 to 6 line, the facts of the case. Then the legal issue, the question of law that the court must decide. Arguments of the parties, key arguments presented before the court, right? Then court's reasoning, that how did the court interpret the law and applied the legal principles. Then the ratio decidendi, the legal binding rule behind emerging from the judgment. And then why important, why, what is the significance, why the case is important for the legal development. This method helps students understand the logic of the judgment rather than the memorizing the isolated facts, right? So this is how you can create a 2-pager summary for every judgment, and this will eventually help you out so much while you're revising for CLAT PG, because अगर आप वही 100-200 pages के judgment को refer करने लगे, you'll not be able to revise anything, right? Then if you are somebody who is looking for such passages, then we have already launched our CLAT PG mock 2027 mock test series, जिसमें आपको directly recent Supreme Court judgments के passages मिलते हैं, and you also get the questions similarly asked in the CLAT PG examination, and that will clearly help you to have a better practice for your CLAT PG preparation journey. If you want to know further details, all you have to do is visit our Law Prep Tutorials website, or you can directly talk to the counselors on the number which is given in the description box, right? Now the 5th step is to identify the ratio decidendi. The ratio decidendi is the most important part of the judgment for the CLAT PG. It refers to the legal principle that forms the basis of court's decision. Court ने decision देने के लिए, right? Court ने decision देने के लिए क्या legal law, legal statute use किया, legal principle use किया, that is the ratio decidendi for the judgment, and it is one of the most important parts of the judgment, right? Exam questions frequently test whether students understand the ratio, how the ratio applies to hypothetical situations. Students should practice summarizing the ratio in 1 or 2 precise sentences, right? That is how you have to look at the 5th step. Then coming to the 6th one, distinguish ratio from obiter dicta. As I already mentioned, that the legal principle is necessary for the judgment. Obiter dicta is the additional observations made by the judges that are not binding, right? ऐसी कुछ चीजें जो observations हैं, जो पता चलती हैं, कोर्ट हमें बताता है, लेकिन वो बाइंडिंग नहीं होती. Observations सिर्फ observatory होती हैं, but they are not binding, right? CLAT PG questions may require students to identify the binding rule applied by the court, making this distinction important. Then the 7th step is study cases by themes. Instead of studying cases randomly, students should organize them by legal themes, right? आपको legal themes के according अपने passages को distribute करना चाहिए. For example, right to privacy के कौन से cases हैं? Justice case पुत्तास्वामी versus Union of India. फिर judicial appointment का कौन सा case है? Supreme Court Advocates on Record Associations versus Union of India. Free speech के कौन से cases हैं? Shreya Singhal versus Union of India. Studying cases by themes improve conceptual clarity and help students see how constitutional principles evolve over time. अगर आपके पास themes wise आपके सारे case laws लगे हुए होंगे, तो CLAT PG में भी अगर आपका कोई passage आता है और आपसे theme पूछ ली जाए, तो आप directly mark कर सकते हो that this case is related to right to privacy or right to freedom of speech and expression. That is how you should have all the judgments ready by theme to theme, so that you also know that how the constitutional principles are evolving and amending from time to time, right? तो आपके पास एक पूरी timeline बन जाती है that how the judgments are evolving and how even the Supreme Court bench is evolving over time, right? Then the 8th step is practice case-based questions. Practice के बिना you are not gonna ace the CLAT PG examination. आप कितने भी case laws अच्छे से पढ़ लेना, but it is very very important for you to interpret and practice the case-based questions. Case law preparation must always be accompanied by practicing questions. Students should regularly attempt passage-based legal reasoning questions involving application of judicial principles, interpretation-based MCQs derived from case summaries. This improves the ability to quickly interpret legal passages during the examination, right? Then the step 9 is maintaining case law revision notes, right? एक 1 pager notes आपके पास, आपके हमेशा revision ready notes होने चाहिए. should include case name, legal issue, ratio decidendi, key significance, is something that you can have. These notes allow quick revision before the examination. Step 10, balance case law with bare acts. While case law is important, student must also maintain strong conceptual clarity of statutory provisions. आपने case law पढ़ लिया, लेकिन उसके पीछे जो laws लगाए गए हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने, the laws that has been applied by the Supreme Court, वही law नहीं पता आपको. You don't know the laws of that, right? So that is why you have to have a balanced approach while studying the case laws, that you must know and have a good conceptual clarity of the bare act. That means the statutory provisions applied behind the case law. An effective strategy involves reading the bare acts first, understanding the statutory framework, then studying relevant judgments, interpreting those provisions. These help students understand how courts apply statutes in real cases, right? And that is how you can effectively have a case law strategy in your hand, focusing on the recent Supreme Court judgments, identifying the ratio decidendi, practice passage based questions, maintain concise revision notes, and combine case law with bare act, right? So that is how you have to effectively read the case laws, and that is how you can improve your marks in the case law. This is one strategy that I also followed while I was preparing for the competitive examinations, the case law strategy, right? So now I hope this helps you out, and if you have any further questions related to case law strategy or anything in general, do let us know in the comment section. We will be happy to help you out. Until then, all the best for your preparation, and I'll see you in the next one. कोई भी डाउट्स हो तो जल्दी से जाके काउंसलर से बात कर लो, मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज ले लो, because practice is something that only makes the man perfect. Bye bye, and I'll see you again.